Obviously, the answer is yeah, but they got something on Elon, right? Would you think they got something on Elon? A little.
I mean, he might be one of those people that are just born into this role, a LARP. Like, do I think they have something on Bill Gates? I don't know. I think he's probably the childhood trauma. A bunch of childhood trauma led to him being positioned perfectly for what they needed him to do. What are your thoughts?
I know a gross fact about Bill Gates from okay, well, I'll just say someone who worked with George Lucas for a very long time became a friend of mine, and they got to tell me some inside fly on the wall type stuff. We were going to actually make a movie, and I'm glad we didn't, because she probably would have been killed for doing it. But one of the side stories in what would have been the movie was so there was an Olympian friend that was friends with Melinda Gates, and that Olympian friend was actually my friend was like an assistant to them because George Lucas offered her up, said, "Hey, yo, be an assistant for her for a little bit." She broke her leg or whatever, and so Melinda Gates was at that woman's house venting to this woman. So my friend's hearing all this, and what she heard was Melinda venting, saying that she was so upset and bothered that Bill didn't want to leave India because he was having so much fun having sex with underage boys. Oh, it's crazy.
Crazy, dude. And you see Bill Gates is on this press tour now. He's going out denouncing his, saying that I regret having any association. It was only one dinner. And his wife in their divorce stuff says it says clearly. She's even done interviews where it's like, he had a relationship with Epstein, and it's for him to say, what it was. But it clearly, I mean, he's lying. He's lying and lying over and over again about it.
Oh, it's so crazy, dude.
Bill Gates says the end of his marriages to Melinda is the biggest mistake he regrets most.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's so funny. And his daughter's like, all my friends won't talk to me. It's like, yeah, because your dad is a pedo Darth Vader.
Yeah, he just did it.
Pedo Darth Vader. Yeah. Yep. Do you know about Melinda Gates and that whole conspiracy theory? Like, I had a friend who would see the Gates at one party every year. It was like an end of the year party that they would come to, a fundraiser. And she vividly remembers, to the point this was such a shock that she took a photo, like low key, that from one year to the next, it was Melinda to Manlinda. Like, it was from woman to man all of a sudden. So let's put our fairy tale hats on. How could that make sense? Well, we've seen shows like fucking, what's that one with Kevin Spacey when he's in the White House?
House of Cards.
House of Cards.
House of Cards. People with power are going to kill people who find stuff out. So what if they killed Melinda because she knew too much and swapped her with Kevin? What's the actor? Kevin Costner?
Oh.
No, I know
Kevin
who you're
Spacey?
No, it's
Is there someone she looks like?
Yeah, look it up.
Look it up.
Kevin, Melinda. Look up Kevin to Melinda Gates. And, and it's like they have the same nose. It's very weird.
It's insane.
You think she'll ever talk about what she knows about Bill Gates?
Kevin Miller? Is that something?
No.
He's
a famous actor.
Kevin, you're sure?
Is it Kevin? I don't know, but I'm sure people at
Kevin
home.
Klein. Oh, Kevin
Klein.
Yeah.
Kevin Klein.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, she does kind of like him. I'll pull it over here.
Like, it's very weird. But where's Kevin Klein? Does anyone know where that guy is?
In the Wicked Wild Wild West. Remember he was in that movie.
Oh my.
Okay, let me type in.
Do you think Melina would ever talk about what she knows about Bill?
We're literally talking about she's dead right now. Mm-hmm. That's what we're talking about. That she's dead and been replaced by Kevin Klein, the actor.
She has talked about Bill. She's the one. She's that interview I was talking about. Yeah, they do look similar.
And yeah, he hasn't been in any movies like at all ever.
That is pretty. That's knows.
So crazy.
That knows.
They're like, hey, you got to roll. What is it?
You got to suck Bill Gates' dick.
Time to pay your dues.
Time to pay your dues, dude. I don't know, man. I mean, like, this trans stuff is pretty crazy. I'm not against any of it. I mean, the inversion. I mean, Candace Owens been going pretty hard on the First Lady of France.
Bridget Macron,
And
whatever her name is.
now she's saying Macron sent people to her house in America.
Really? How much of it, though, do you think does that? You've always talked about how it empowers people to use it as blackmail when we demonize it like that. Do you think that by doing that, you're kind of playing into it as Candace? I mean,
Well, the question becomes, Johnny, is the presentation that this is your wife when it's really a man dressed in drag or a man living as a woman?
Well,
that, to me, is disingenuous.
Is it? I mean, if let's just say hypothetically, he knows she's trans. She is trans.
But we don't know she's trans.
No. I didn't say we know. I said he knows she's trans. Let's say hypothetically he does. She is. And to him, she would. I mean, if he was playing that political game that the liberals play, she would be a woman to him, and he would treat her like a woman. And why would he go out and like dead name her? As far as he would feel.
Okay.
You know,
Right.
Like, why?
I understand.
What's his obligation to acknowledge that? I guess.
Well, I think what it does is it sheds a light on, again, a giant pedophile problem with the European elite.
What would that have to do with her being trans?
Wait up, she started
because-
dating him when he was really young, like really young.
Like he was
like
we're
babysitter type of
getting
shit.
into Snow White shit. Like he was 14, she was like
But what
30.
does her gender have to do with that? It
Well,
being
because-
pedophilia.
What's that?
What does her gender have to do
Well,
with
it
it
has to
being
do
a
with the
pedophilia?
fact that she's not a biological woman being presented as a biological woman, and she participated in pedophilia. And that to me
Those
is
seem like two separate things to me, but yeah.
that
okay.
doesn't seem like two separate things to me.
Are you saying that people who are trans are more?
No, I'm
inclined
saying that these are combined. I'm not saying every trans person
to,
is
but really,
a pedophile.
I'm not even talking about. I'm talking about this thing where you've seen on Twitter where they like put your face. They've done it with you with your shoulders. They're like Sam Tripoli, feminine shoulders.
Yeah,
she's
they love
trans.
saying I'm a chick.
Yeah, like
Same here. They say I'm a chick too.
Yeah, they just love that. Like, oh, Sam's a chick. I'm like, come on, dude.
that.
I know I'm not hung, but that's offensive.
The French stuff, I think, is not healthy. That where they're just accusing everybody scattershot.
Well,
of
but
being-
Johnny, I get what you're saying. Like, my whole thing is live and let live.
Yeah, I agree.
But Macron is part of this.
I'm not applying them. I'm not saying them really. I'm just saying, what would you expect him? Say they hypothetically she is trans. What would be the right way for him to handle that in your mind?
Just let
At
the people
some
know.
point, it should be like, yeah, she's a trans.
Yeah, let the people know.
I mean, Johnny, here's the biggest issue. Like when you go with Michelle Obama, right? Like they're telling you they're constantly telling us trans are unicorns.
Trans are women. Yeah, that's what.
No, but they're telling us not only are they women, but they're just this higher level of understanding.
Evolution.
Right? It's like, oh my God, they're mystical animals. They're like these like mystical creatures that should be loved and like we should, and then you were going, well, Michelle Obama's a guy, and they're like, how dare you? You go, how can you have those two thoughts at the same time? How can you have that
I agree
trans
with
are
that,
mystical
100%.
animals and be offended that we say Michelle Obama's a man?
Yeah, I agree completely. It's like that guy.
That's what I'm saying.
That guy who did those hilarious interviews,
Yeah.
where he just accuses
He nails it.
random women of like, oh, you had great work done. You're when did you
Yeah,
convert?
we're just trying to talk about trans women.
Yeah.
Like, when did you
no, but
transition?
sir, I am not a trans.
I
woman.
totally agree on that, dude.
Yeah.
I totally
You are
agree
a
on
woman.
that.
Yeah.
Or my favorite thing is when they interview the pro transitioning kids.